Hello, I'm so glad to see you here. I know I have been away for a long time, but here I am with a new video and with a new look. And in today's look, I'm painting Alice in Wonderland. And she has become a bit mad. She has eaten her cat, and I don't know where my Mad Hatter is, but she has got his hat. For red irritated eye look, I'm using lens from Pastel Dreams UK, and then I'm blocking my eyebrows. First I warm up wax and then spread it with a spatula, and then you cannot see this, but they are really smooth. Then I'm going over with a powder so they are not anymore sticky, they're nice and smooth, and then covering it with foundation. Next I'm covering my face with white paint, and I'm applying it with a sponge, just tapping over, so especially over the brows, because if I go over the brows and pull it, I can pull the wax off. So I'm being very careful in these areas. Before actually painting the clothes, I need to place them somewhere. So first of all, I'm doing my body, my new body, a bit smaller, so I could overlap my clothing and make it a bit bigger, and it will be sticking out. I start with a bow, which is going to be quite big, then painting in shoulders. This is kind of a funny part because I wanted to attach a tail of Cheshire Cat to the bow, and I'm painting that in, and around it going to be collar. Next thing is sketch out a pinafore, and now it's time to start painting with a color. So I'm loading my 1-inch brush with two colors, light and dark blue, and going over with the dark colors inside or somewhere where it's going to be kind of hiding, being in the dark and shadow. As you see, this color is so much wider than the brush itself, so I'm quite often working just with one part of my brush. At the places where I have creases like shoulder parts, I'm pulling the brush away from the creases, so it kind of creates this this look that it's a bit going around the shoulder, and it's a bit bigger and puffy. I'm also going over with a darker brush at the darkest points, and then later on I'm going to add some shadows as well. So the darkest creases I'm going with the dark blue color and with a thin brush. Then I'm adding white highlights at the lightest points or at the highest points. So light is normally going from the top, so the highest parts are normally highlighted more. And I quite often using my finger as well to smudge my paint and to create this blending effect. And again, for creases, I'm kind of wriggling my brush to create this uneven look with a darker place inside the creases. With Maron Star Blends, I'm adding lots of shadows, and then going again to highlight the most latent areas. Okay, my clothes are ready, and I'm going to go over the tail area. I'm using two colors here, and at first I'm just filling in the areas, just a little bit tapping with the side of the brush to create this fluffy look. While it's drying, I'm going to go around the clothes that I painted, so my body will look like it's a bit smaller, but it's the clothes will stick out. And then I'm going back to the tail, adding more shadows first with black paint around the bow, so it's kind of hiding, and then adding white lines with a rake brush. I kind of need to plan the whole face differently, so where I'm applying the shadow, there's going to be a higher cheek, and I'm going to pull the mouth a bit wider, so I am adding shadows a bit higher than I would normally do. I'm adding shadows to the tip of my nose, so it becomes visually a bit shorter. Now it is time for the eye, and from the corner of my eye I'm taking a straight line away to the top of my ear, and then filling the space around the pupil with white color. The other eye is similar size, and I'm filling in straight away with a darker color on the outside and with a lighter from the inside. I'm adding shadows around my new eye, and it is a light brown color and I'm kind of smudging it later on as well. I don't want any sharp lines at this point yet, and I'm also adding an eyelid and a brow as well. My brow is going to be much higher, and first I'm filling in with a light shade, and only later when I have the proper shape that I wanted, I'm adding hairs with a rake brush, and I'm also using a little bit darker color so it kind of differentiates in color. The other eyebrow I'm doing darker anyway, and I'm changing a shape a little bit so it goes around the eye, and that makes my eye look a bit more angry. For this pink eye, I'm going to add these spiral lines, which will make this whole look a bit more crazier. I'm also adding some eyelashes, first with a single just small brush, and then I'm going to be adding more lashes with a rake brush, with a small rake brush. It is very important to keep right directions with eyelashes so they look very kind of more natural. So if we start at the middle of the eye, we'll go up and down. If we're going to the left of the eye, we are turning the lashes to the left. If we are going to the right, we are turning lashes to the right, so they kind of bend in this way. For my iris, I'm using darker color at the top, so it looks like it has been covered by the eyelid, and that's why there is a shadow there. Next, I'm adding a pupil and shadowing heavily under the eyelashes, under all the way, going into the white color as well. And only when I finished shadowing, I'm adding some highlights. And with highlights, I'm also highlighting, making a bit lighter the lower part of the colored iris. I'm later on adding a little bit of shadows around the eyes itself, so it looks like more sitting in skin, more kind of sitting deeply. And I'm also adding some shadows at this crazy eye on the inside and the outside, and generally around these creases. And at this moment I decided that I would like this eye to be even more kind of changed, even more displaced, so it's kind of the whole my whole left side look a bit strange, like not a bit strange, a lot strange. So using a very thin brush, I think it's number 2 or number 1, I'm just adding additional creases, additional breaks into the skin, so it's something like, looks like it's a bit cracked. The same as my voice today. I had a sore throat for 3 weeks, I think, and it's still there, but I decided to record this video because I couldn't wait any longer. So if you hear my voice is not as usual, that's why. I'm adding highlights at the top part of the cracks, and then I'll add some shadows later on for the darker parts. Now it's the time to do the mouth, and I'm going as far as my eyes, as the outer side of my eyes, and also I need to shadow the corner of my teeth because it's going to be hidden inside the mouth, and I will shadow it definitely even more later on. So after I shadowed it, I kind of know my placement for my teeth, so I'm going around with lips. And again, I'm highlighting at the top of each lip and darkening at the bottom. So after painting in my lips, I'm darkening inside of my mouth, so it's kind of teeth are only light at the very front, at the sides they're kind of brownish and even black. I need to leave a space outside of corner of the lips for the crease. So this is the part of the skin is not kind of hidden, it is visible, and then there's going to be a crease. And crease itself will go towards the top part of my nostril. So this is where the direction needs to go to make it look more realistic. So after I got all the directions right, I'm just starting to shadow inside of each crease. Highlighting at the end is always a very important step, so it's kind of, you pull out all the most important parts, like the lips now are kind of more visible if you will add the additional highlights to it. It is just left to add some decorations to put the hat on, to put the blood in the corner of my mouth and into the tails of the cat and inside of the cup. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, or you just enjoyed watching it. I hope you subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and please share and comment if you would like to ask some question. I'm existent probably on every bigger media website, so if you are on Instagram, if you are on Facebook, I will be there definitely. I will be posting pictures there where you sometimes can see more details. So please don't forget to subscribe, to follow, to like my works. That keep me actually being more active. This work was done with collaboration of Paint and Pulse group. We set ourselves a theme and then we paint each of us different character or different look, but to the same theme. And I think sometimes it's very interesting to look what everybody has done. And I have these pictures already on Instagram or on some Facebook groups that I am in. Well, this is all for today. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!